Before we begin, I do wish to mention that this will probably be, for now at least, the only video I'm doing on this topic, since the source I've used does not allow many rituals to be published. With that being said, onto the video. Our world is filled with people who dabble in the occult, in games that are only played with certain types of entities, most of them being vicious demons that hunt the quote-unquote player, if that's what you want to call the person, for a lifetime or kill them outright. I've decided to also give you a little bit of an insight in some of these games that you could too play but never should. Not necessarily because of the very real danger that you summon an almighty dark force upon yourself, but also because some of these descriptions require you to hurt yourself or put yourself in more physical dangers. But, in the end, it is your choice, if you wish to really execute them. So, with that being said, here are 8 different, rather intriguing rituals. The doors of your mind. Let's start off with a rather easy one, a somewhat harmless ritual that lets you explore the deepest corners of your own mind. Some of you might recognize this ritual as it went under another name when it became a TikTok trend about 2 years ago. There it was called Red Door, Yellow Door. However, this is the version that was written down before that, around the year 2015. You may see this ritual as more of a guided meditation technique rather than an actual dark ritual. To get started, you only need one principal, aka the person leading the ritual, and a participant, the one simply undergoing the ritual. Apart from that, you also need a quiet room, a few candles, matches or a lighter, an alarm clock either digital or analog, a pillow which is optional, and a recording device which is also optional. You should begin this ritual when you are feeling most relaxed, maybe before you and your partner are about to go to sleep. Go to your quiet room and dim the lights. Set up your candles and use a match or a lighter to light them. Be mindful of fire hazards, please, as I do not want you to accidentally knock a candle over and set your room ablaze. Set the alarm clock to go off in 1 hour from the time you begin and activate your recording device if you have one. Have your partner sit on the floor in a cross-legged position, so the partner can lay their head in your lap facing upwards. You may also use a pillow if that's more comfortable. Following that, let your partner close their eyes. Let the guider rub the partner's temples in a slow and circular motion continuously with a steady tempo. The overall feeling should be a relaxing one. Now begins the guidance. While the principal or the guider rubs the partner's temples, the guider is to speak out the following words. You are at the end of a very long hallway. In front of you there are numerous doors on either side of the corridor. I want you to explore these doors and the rooms behind them. Describe to me what you see, hear, touch, and otherwise feel in great detail. At this point, the partner should find themselves inside said corridor. Traverse it and its doors. Describe everything in as much detail as you can to your guide. There are no certain rules on how to best explore these corridors. Do it as you please. There are some tips you can go by though. First off, pay attention to yourself and your surroundings. What are you wearing? What is in your pockets? Do you have anything meaningful on or about your person? Whatever you find might be useful later on, and your person might also change during the experience. Second, examine each door thoroughly before opening it. Explain the color, size, the handle of it. Does the touch feel cold or warm, and so on. The details might provide some hints on what's behind it. Trust your instincts. If you feel it's unwise or maybe even dangerous to open a door, leave it closed. You are not forced to open all of them. Should a door be locked, you can try to check your person if you have a key to open it. If not, or if the door just won't budge, then just keep it closed. At this point in time in your life, you might just not be ready to open this door. Beware of some rooms you enter. Should you enter a room filled with clocks, don't touch any of them and leave the room immediately. Should you see an old lady inside a room, do not speak with her and leave the room immediately. Should you see a man in a suit which inspires feelings of great discomfort or dread, describe him immediately to your guide. Regardless as to whether the alarm has gone off yet, your guide has to end the session. If your partner is unable to end the session, then don't speak to the man and immediately leave the room. Oh, and one word of advice before you try out this ritual. Take care of yourself when traversing the hallway, as your mind is not always your friend. The Ghost Train Ritual. Looking for a daring experience, something not quite dangerous but rather chilling? Then it might be an idea to summon an actual ghost train. Ghost trains are a classic type of urban legends in which people claim to have heard the sound of a train passing on tracks that are out of use. But did you know there's an actual way to summon one? You only need 2 things to do this. Firstly, you'll need access to an above-ground railway that are preferably believed to be haunted by locals or are known to pass by a cemetery, graveyard or any other type of burial site. Some state that you can also use actively used train tracks, but don't do this. Obviously because of the fact that you can put yourself in danger of being run over, especially at night, but also because of the fact that walking past in-use train tracks is illegal. Should you know of a deserted track, however, you'll secondly need a lantern, either powered by electricity or oil. Begin this ritual at night when it's completely dark. Then, gather your lantern and traverse to the chosen tracks. You may walk or drive there, provided you can park your vehicle nearby. As soon as you reach the tracks, turn on your lantern and begin walking. Walk directly on the tracks, you do not have to run. Just walk and watch your step so you don't trip. Take note of where you started, as you will need to precisely walk 1 mile, no more and no less. When you believe you have reached that goal, stop but don't turn off the lantern. Once you're standing still, begin to whistle and mimic the sound of a train. While you whistle, listen closely, and I don't mean listening to the darkness or the environment. Try to listen past all of that. Then you'll have one of the following results. The first possibility is that you simply don't hear anything. If that is the case, then the ritual has failed. Do not proceed, turn around and walk back the way you came. Once you reach your starting point, turn off the lantern and walk back to your vehicle or directly home. You can always try this ritual again at a different point in time if you so wish. The second possibility is that you'll hear the whistle of a train in the distance. As soon as you hear this whistle, get off the tracks immediately. Especially if you decided to use an actively used train track, as if you don't, then this ritual will suddenly have become a lot more deadly. Should you, however, have gotten off the tracks, remain silent and listen. While you listen, keep the lantern activated. When the sound of the whistle fades away completely, make sure you absolutely don't hear it anymore. You may walk back the way you came, but this time do not directly walk on the tracks, only walk beside them. When you reach your starting point, you can turn off the lantern and either enter your vehicle or directly return home. Once you reach your home, double check if the lantern is turned off, as it can happen that your lantern itself or something else has turned it back on. If so, turn it back off and enter your home. Immediately go to sleep, if possible. And when you wake up, the ritual will be over. However, from now on, and for possibly the rest of your life, you'll sometimes faintly be able to hear the sound of a whistling train. The Salt Merchant. Some rituals can be dangerous without any positive means, but not the Salt Merchant ritual. This ritual is possibly one of the best and most rewarding rituals on this list, as correctly completing this ritual can lead to nice rewards, ranging from simple food items to the rarest spoils on Earth. To execute it, you'll need the following things. 1 or more players. a bag filled with salt as well as an empty bag. You can use paper bags, but tightly sewn bags with no possibility of leakage are known to be ideal for this ritual. Furthermore, you'll need access to any form of burial ground, and on these grounds there needs to be a tree preferably large and old, a tree that has nested its roots there ever since the beginning. Should you have all of this, then begin the ritual at night and traverse to the said burial grounds. Bring both your salt and the empty bag. Once inside, locate the aforementioned tree. Sit on the ground facing the tree and make yourself comfortable, as you might be there for quite some time. Place the bag of salt to your left and make sure you can reach it easily, whether or not you are able to see it. Place the empty bag to your right. Here also make sure it can easily be reached. Now it's time to quote-unquote sell your wares. Reach both of your hands into the bag of salt and gather a fistful in each hand. Put your hands behind your back and close your eyes. Then firmly speak, "Salt! Salt! Come buy my salt!" Continue to chant these words with your eyes closed until you feel something gently opening up your fist and remove the salt from your grasp. Allow the salt to be taken from you and stop your chanting. If you're lucky, you might feel something be placed back into your hand. Keep your eyes closed, and once you can feel the something letting go of your hands, gently bring the goods to your empty bag and put them in it. Once they are safely inside the bag, you may open your eyes, but you may not look at your wares. At least, not just yet. Continue selling your wares until no more salt remains. Once you're done, gather the 2 bags and leave the burial grounds and return back home. Once home, put the bag of wares you have received over the course of the night somewhere safe, and where it will not be disturbed. Now, you'll have to wait at least a full 3 weeks or 21 days before you are allowed to finally open up your bag and see your profits. It might be tempting to look in the bag beforehand, but really just have patience. It's said to be well worth the wait. The Blood Moon Ritual. The following ritual is a rather difficult one to properly execute. As you probably guessed by the name, this ritual can only be performed during a blood moon. From this point in time, that would mean the next time you can do this ritual would be March 13th to 14th, 2025. So at this point in time, you'll have to wait a little longer than half a year. The goal of this ritual is to transport yourself into another dimension. If you wish to try this, then here's how to do it. For this ritual, you'll need one assistant that helps you traverse to this other dimension. Other than that, you'll need a building that meets the following requirements. It needs to have 2 stories, a balcony that is at least 1 story up, and this balcony needs to be easily accessible from one of the building's rooms. Next to that, you'll need a mobile phone that is connected to data, not Wi-Fi, with the battery nearly drained. By that I mean no more than 30% of charge. Furthermore, you'll need a timekeeping device separate from your mobile phone, a mirror, incense, matches or a lighter, a food item, and a sterilized pin. Once you have all of this, you may begin the preparations. Begin by traversing to the chosen building on the night of the blood moon and go into the room that connects with the balcony. Open any windows in the room that look out onto the balcony and ensure that there is a direct airflow between the room and the balcony. If there are no windows, make sure the balcony door may be propped or kept slightly open without danger of it accidentally closing. Make sure there's still direct airflow from one space to another, however. Place the mirror inside the room somewhere where it can easily be seen. Do the same with the timekeeping device. The assistant must now stand inside the room and have easy access to the incense and the matches or lighter. Place the food item inside the room within easy reach of the main player. Place the sterilized pin inside the room or give it to the assistant for safekeeping. If you are the main player, keep the mobile phone on your person. Elsewhere in the building, set up your sleeping space and make sure it's safe and secure. Once everything is set in place, check the time to make sure you still have time prior to the eclipse. If so, then pass the time using your mobile phone. You'll now need to keep an eye on both the time and your phone's battery level. Make sure that the battery does not drain fully before the time at which the eclipse is set to begin. When the eclipse is about to start, your phone should be almost down to 0%. If that is the case, then position yourself in front of the mirror and lock eyes with your own reflection. From now on, don't look away. Now, let the phone battery drain completely. If timed correctly, your phone's battery life will drop to 0 the moment the eclipse begins. When this happens, look away from the mirror and retrieve your food item. Exit the room onto the balcony. Should you not have been able to open any windows, then make sure the door to the balcony is still propped open once you leave. Now, depending on your role, you'll have to do the following things. If you are the main player, you will have to position yourself in a spot where as little moonlight as possible can shine on you. Look at the moon and keep looking while you consume your food item. Eat carefully and make sure not to leave crumbs or any other spillage behind. If, on the other hand, you are the assistant, you must remain in the room while the main player is outside on the balcony and take up your incense. Light it with a match or the lighter and move through the room with a lit stick of incense, allowing the smoke to drift through the space and purify it. Make sure that some smoke may also drift out onto the open windows or through the open door to the balcony. Remain there while the main player carries out the remaining instructions. Once the main player has finished eating the food item, keep looking at the moon. At this point, you must take a risk and estimate when the lunar eclipse of the blood moon has reached its maximum point. When you believe it is about to hit that point, chant aloud the following words. "The lesser light will rule me through, no greater light to bring me down." Keep chanting this phrase at the moon while looking at it. After this, cease your chanting and go back inside. Get the sterilized pin and go downstairs outside. Meanwhile, the assistant must remain inside the room until the next morning. While remaining there, he is not allowed to stop or speak to the main player anymore. Once the main player is outside, look at the fading blood moon and prick your finger with the pin until you draw blood. Let the blood well up and go back inside and to your sleeping space. In absolutely no way may you go back into the room connected to the balcony or any room connecting to that particular room. Once in your sleeping space, go to sleep. Once you wake up, take a look at your surroundings and go about your life. You will notice that the world feels off and unfamiliar. I do hope you like your new home, because there is no known way to return. The Dark Reflection Ritual. Sometimes bad things must overcome one in order to make way for the greater good. The same principle is seen when performing the Dark Reflection Ritual. This is a game where one faces off a night of bad luck in order to gain good fortune. Here's how to play. You may play this game alone or in a group. You'll need a mirror. This mirror may be any type or shape. Just make sure you can afford to break it without getting into trouble. It is said that old mirrors with a personal connection to oneself are ideal for this ritual. However, it is also said that this ritual under no circumstances should be performed in one's own home. Lastly, you'll need a candle and means to light it before you can begin. Begin this game after sunset, but no less than 6 hours until dawn. Take your mirror and look your reflection in the eye for 3 to 5 seconds, focusing your attention on the negative energy held within the mirror. Then, hold it close to your face and fog it up with your breath. If you are playing with others, then everyone must repeat this step. After this is done, light the candle and hold it to the mirror surface. Once the candle has blackened a small portion of the glass, remove the candle and extinguish it. After this, break the mirror and leave the pieces where they are, and immediately leave the room. For all of you backrooms wanderers familiar with level -81 or 790, you'll probably find this quite similar, as from now on bad luck will follow you all through the night, slowly increasing as the night passes. Your survival rate depends on how alert you stay throughout the night. At this point, there is nothing that will guarantee your safety. When confronted with particularly threatening situations, it is recommended to hold your breath for as long as you can. Should you somehow manage to survive the night, the ritual will be completed, and you will be rewarded with a streak of good fortune. Your actions will have the desired outcomes and success will come easy. It is recommended you buy a lottery ticket. Glück auf. The Cemetery Dirt Ritual. Ever wanted to see spirits? This Indonesian ritual can allow you to do so, provided you don't mind getting a little dirty. For this game you'll only need yourself, a cloth you can use as a blindfold, a small bag such as a zip-top plastic bag, a flower or other type of offering, this is optional but recommended, access to a cemetery and the knowledge and means on how to perform a simple cleansing ritual. Look some up on the internet, there should be quite a few that are simple enough to execute. If you have all this, then you're ready to begin. You can begin this ritual at any time, so travel to the cemetery when you feel ready. Bring the bag and the blindfold and also the offering if you've chosen to get one. Make your way to a grave, a freshly occupied one would be ideal. Collect a handful of soil or dirt from the top of the grave. Store it in the bag if you brought it. If not, then tie the earth within the blindfold. Make sure that the earth is tied well enough inside the cloth so that it won't spill out, but not so tightly that you won't be able to loosen it again. Exit the cemetery and take the bag with you. After you left the grounds, it doesn't matter where you are as long as you are not on the burial grounds anymore. Carefully apply the dirt on the blindfold more thoroughly. Make sure that the earth is spread on the side that will directly rest on your eyelids when you wear it. Also, do not place the blindfold on the floor or any other type of surface when you apply the dirt on it. You need to keep holding it. Now, close your eyes and lift the blindfold to your face. Try not to lose too much dirt while you do so. Wrap the cloth around the back of your head and tie it securely. After this, you can sit down and wait. After a while, you'll be able to see through your eyelids, dirt and the blindfold and should be able to see spirits wandering. After you've seen enough, you need to close the ritual. You do this by untying the blindfold and removing it from your face. Again, try not to lose too much dirt while doing so. Tie the blindfold up again and wash your face afterwards. Then you must perform the cleansing ritual you've learned before beginning this ritual. After this is done, return to the cemetery and the exact grave where you gathered the dirt from. Untie the blindfold and return the earth to the surface of the grave. If you brought an offering, place it atop of the grave and offer your apologies for disturbing the grave and its occupant. You may use whatever words you like as long as you are contrite, polite, and sincere. Should you be religious, it is recommended that you offer a prayer to their happiness and safety in whatever waits for them beyond the life on earth. If you aren't religious, simply give them your best wishes for their happiness. Exit the cemetery with only your blindfold in hand. Dispose of this item afterwards by either burning it to ash and then remove the ashes to a location where you are certain you will never return to again, or bury the blindfold at that location. After this, it's recommended that you perform yet another cleansing ritual just to be sure. Then go home. You may never return to the burial grounds or the place where you buried the blindfold ever again, or there will be dire consequences. The Travel Man. Are you willing to go to extreme lengths to get what you want? So far that making deals with the devil would be an option for you? Well then, the Travel Man ritual might be of interest to you. This game, while it's said to be more of a quote-unquote scary story rather than a functioning ritual, can give you more materialistic types of prizes on completion. And of course, should the ritual work at all. But do tread carefully, as you are still going to bargain with a demon. Though, bargaining is a rather exaggerated term, as it'll be more of a gambling game with the devil containing a dangerous outcome should you lose. For this ritual, you'll need only yourself, a candle or a lantern. Know that this must be an oil lantern, so a lantern that operates via a live flame only, a fire extinguisher or any other means of fire safety supplies, and a week-long period during which to play. This game can also only be played inside your own home. Other than that, you can start preparing. Before you begin this game, determine a specific 7-day period of when to play, as it is very important that your house is free of people and or pets for all 7 nights. Prior to the first night, gather your supplies and turn all lights in your home off. Wait till nightfall and then you may begin. Make your way through the darkness towards your front door with your lantern or candle. Light either of them and then knock 3 times on your own front door from the inside. Don't exit your home to do this. While you knock, repeat the following words aloud. Travel man, come make me a deal. After this, extinguish the candle or lantern and go to bed while keeping the lights turned off. Repeat this exact process for 6 more nights. You may have the lights turned on during the day, but make sure that around nightfall you turn all of them off again. Then on the 7th night you'll have one of 2 possible outcomes. Outcome 1. There is only silence. If that's the case, then do not proceed. The ritual has failed and for you the game ends here. Extinguish the candle or lantern and go to bed. You may try this ritual again if you wish, but I'd take my time to wait for that moment if I were you. Outcome 2. You hear something on the other side of the door. If so, open the door. You should see a well-dressed visitor carrying an impressive-looking briefcase. This is the travel man. Greet the guest politely and wait for him to respond. He'll respond by opening the briefcase and getting something out of it. This will be an item of little value, a common object or a handful of change. He will proceed to offer this item to you. Now the quote-unquote bargaining starts. You are free to accept or decline his offer at will. Should you accept, the man will hand you the item, close his briefcase and bid you farewell. You may then close the door, extinguish your light source and go to bed. If you, however, choose to decline his offer, he will put the item back in his briefcase and present you with another item of slightly increased value. The value of this item he pulls out of the briefcase will increase each time you choose to decline his offer. However, be careful on the amount of times you decline his offer, as the travel man won't like it if you excessively decline his offer. It is unknown what happens to those who are too greedy during their bargain. Should you've accepted his offer, then I hope you're happy with what you got, as you probably won't get another chance to make a deal like this again. The Fearless Ritual. Do you want a ritual which doesn't necessarily focus on selling yourself out to entities in order to get prizes, or dangerous games that can grant your every wish, but merely want a game that can both open your mind to the paranormal and end with you being able to face the unknown without fear? Then there's the Fearless Ritual. For this ritual you need only yourself, access to an indoor location with 3 distinct spaces that can sequentially be traversed without needing to double back through a room you have already visited, a timekeeping device, 4 candles, matches or a lighter, a safe place to sleep that is ideally several miles away and not part of your playing space, and a wish or desire. Before you begin, locate a suitable playing space and gather your supplies. Wait until it's dark and ensure the playing space is absent of people or pets. Then, determine the route through which you travel the rooms and assign numbers to the rooms that correspond to the sequence of travel. Make sure that the primary exit of the playing space is near the 3rd and final room. Block the windows of all 3 rooms, provided there are any. Turn out the lights in rooms 2 and 3, as well as the lights located within the playing space that are not located within your 3 rooms. For now, you may only keep the lights turned on in room 1. Place 4 candles in room 1, arrange 3 of them in a triangle shape and place the 4th in the center. Make sure that anything flammable other than the candles is not in near proximity. You can also, and you should also, bring safety precautions should things go wrong. Now, keep a close eye on your timekeeping device until it's midnight. Once it is, light the 3 candles of the triangle, keeping the 4th off for now, and turn out the lights in the room. Sit back down in front of the candles and look at them before slowly looking over them and further beyond into the darkness. Look towards what feels like the darkest point in the darkness itself and focus on that. While you're fixated on that point, think about the lurking danger in there. While imagining this danger, keep your fear under control should you feel it rise. Extinguish the 1st candle while looking into the darkness and repeat this process for the other candles. You might feel your fear levels increase with each candle you slowly extinguish. Keep it under control at all costs. Don't let it get to you. After extinguishing the final candle, and should you've managed to not show your fear, firmly speak aloud. Are there none who can show me the meaning of fear? Say these words as sincere as possible. Use them to affirm yourself with it if it helps keeping your fear levels low. Stay fixated on the darkest point you saw beyond your candles. Once this is done, use your match or lighter to ignite the fourth candle. Keep the candle in the center of the triangle while you do this. Keep the lighter or the match at your person afterwards. While you keep staring into the darkness, you might feel one of three outcomes. You see, feel, or otherwise sense no changes in the room. In this case, the ritual has failed, and you need to extinguish the fourth candle. Turn on the lights and exit the building until the sun has risen again. You can always try this ritual again. The second outcome is that you only feel minor and unusual changes, such as changes in the room's layout or architecture, unusual items, item replacement, or strange noises. In this case, extinguish the candle, turn on the lights, and leave the place immediately. You have other uninvited guests probably, with other intentions in mind. In this case, do not return until the sun has risen again, and after it has, perform a purification ritual on the location and then exit the premises and preferably never return. You can try this ritual on another location at another time, but it is recommended to never try this ritual again as other entities can use it to get to you. The third option is that you sense something that invokes great fear within you. In this case, keep looking and try to keep your fear under control. Keep looking for at least 3 more minutes, and if you can help it, try to not even blink. This can be achieved quite a lot more easily when looking into darkness or not having your eyes fully opened. After the 3 minutes, pick up the lit fourth candle and exit the first room you are in into room 2. You may now break the gaze to the point and begin your journey. When entering room 2, extinguish the candle and place it on the floor. Lay down and keep the candle nearby. Then close your eyes. You may start to hear or feel things around you or on you. But no matter what happens, do not open your eyes. Don't be afraid. Nothing will happen to you, but keep your eyes closed for the next 3 minutes. After you believe 3 minutes have passed, open your eyes. Pick up the candle, relight it, and exit room 2 into room 3. In room 3, you will see something. Something that will invoke a fear greater than ever before in your life. No matter what you see, keep your fear under control and set the candle down somewhere safe while keeping it lit. You must also make sure that the candle stays lit for the rest of the ritual. Do not allow it to burn down. Face who or whatever you see in room 3 and reach your hand out to it. They will respond in a kind manner, taking your hand and shaking it. Now, drown your fear fully and embrace the thing you see in the third room. Hold the embrace for at least 3 minutes. It can embrace you as well. If it does, allow it. After 3 minutes, release your companion and turn your back to them. Then firmly speak to them the following words. Thank you for your thoughtful visitation, but I'm sorry to say I still do not know what fear is. Retrieve your candle and exit the third room through the primary exit you set up before you began the ritual. Once you've exited, extinguish the candle and vacate the premises. Go to your predetermined safe location and make yourself comfortable before going to sleep. If you had a wish or desire before you began the ritual, make this wish when you rise again the next day. Otherwise, simply rise when you are awake. Shortly after, if you made a wish, you'll find it in form of a gift. This item can be random, such as a materialistic item or simply good fortune. Even if you haven't made a wish, accept it as it is, and be glad. You have proven to yourself that you truly do not fear anything, not even fear itself. And with that, Thanks for watching.